welcome to this week's Foundation Friday. I am joined today by Julia Gavrilov, partner at MHH and Hamroff. Thanks, Julia. Glad to have you on here again.
Thanks for having me, Jesse, as always.
Yeah, so we're here today to talk about the American Heart Association and one of the recent campaigns that you're working on. Do you mind just kind of introducing what you're up to, Julia?
Yes, absolutely. So I currently serve on the executive leadership team of the Go Red for Women campaign for the American Heart Association's Long Island chapter. Go Red for Women is the American Heart Association's signature women's initiative since about 2004. It addresses and helps raise awareness and clinical care gaps in cardiovascular disease, which happens to statistically be women's greatest health threat. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women. Not many people know that or realize that. Nearly 45% of women ages 20 and over are living with some sort of cardiovascular disease, which is a staggering statistic if you think about it. Less than half of women who enter pregnancy in the US have optimal cardiovascular health, and those women that experience unique life stages such as pregnancy or menopause are also at an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease. So the campaign helps meet the evolving needs of women now and at every stage, every age and every season of their lives, as their trusted, relevant source for credible, equitable health solutions.
Thanks for that explanation. Those numbers are scary, to say the least.
Yes, they are.
How did you happen to get involved with the American Heart Association, Julia?
So I was invited to serve on the executive leadership team for the Go Red for Women campaign. Moorhawk and Hamroff, the firm that I work for, has been a longtime supporter of the American Heart Association and for the Go Red for Women campaign. Mark Hamroff, our chairman, has for a number of years served on the board of directors for the Long Island chapter. And I, as chair of the women's initiative of the firm, our focus is on the development and advancement of women. And one very critical factor in the advancement of women is good health, because without that, you can't really, really get far. So that's where the passion has come in. That's where I wanted to ensure that women's needs are being met and that we are at optimal, health to be able to develop and advance.
Did you know those statistics prior to joining the board?
I had heard about it, but the more you're involved in it, the more you actually learn, and it was actually even scarier than I initially had anticipated.
Wait, what?
So now I have multiple things to worry about of what could possibly take me. But again,
did you go set up an appointment like right afterwards where it's like?
It's definitely contemplated that perhaps maybe it's time to just have a checkup just in case.
Yeah, I know. Is heart disease still the #1 killer of like everything now? I'm sure if women are at 45%, men must be at like 70%.
No, but believe it or not, I believe that the risk is higher in women than it is in men, which is what's surprising.
Well, maybe that's because of men.
And symptoms may manifest themselves a little differently in women, and women tend to have a bad habit of multitasking and overlooking, so that because they think that they can really pretty much handle everything, because they do juggle everything at the same time. So sometimes it could be viewed as a silent killer, and we want to just raise awareness and make sure that women are always on the lookout for any possible symptoms.
Perfect. So this I want to say, is it Wear Red, right? Not Big Red.
So it's Go Red for Women, but it all culminates to Go Red for Women luncheon, where everybody's wearing red. So it's a sea of red, and it certainly shows support, and it's been very successful in the money that it's raised.
And when is this, or was this?
It was actually on February 29th, which was about a week ago, but the campaign obviously continues throughout the year, and there are a lot of various events that the campaign still hosts and functions that it hosts, both in Go Red for Women and globally on kind of more of a global scale with American Heart Association.
Okay, I wasn't sure if EF Cares was able to get their donation in prior to that or not. So I'm glad
they did very generously. So thank you for supporting the cause. We greatly appreciate Equipment Finance Cares and all the support that they always show us.
No, and it's awesome that we have individuals like yourself in this industry who take time. I know time is very valuable. It's not like you have a lot of free time with everything you have going on, family, work, career. So
yeah, but and one thing, notwithstanding how busy our lives can be, to neglect other things that matter a lot.
Sure. So the donated dollars that people get, give to the American Heart Association, where does that go to, Julia?
So funds generally go to advance the American Heart Association's life-saving mission. It helps fund more research breakthroughs. It helps fund life-saving prevention programs, and it ensures hospitals have the latest techniques to be able to treat patients, heart patients, and improve outcomes.
Perfect. And then when our industry peers, colleagues, or even friends outside of the industry are listening to this interview, what can they do to help make a difference?
So there's a lot of many ways to help make a difference, and obviously donations are always welcome. And as I mentioned, that helps fund research breakthroughs and making sure that patients have prevention programs and ensure that all the updated techniques are being implemented. But there are a lot of other ways to help, which I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize. One, you can be an advocate for change by joining Go Red's online advocacy program. They have a online advocacy community that you can participate in. You could do you could be a Heart Walk hero, which is organizing an online or an in-person team of walkers to support heart health research and help raise funds that way. There are plenty of local campaigns or initiatives that you or women's networks can support. You can host a fundraising event. And honestly, even learning to administer hands-only CPR can help save a life. We've, at the firm, periodically hold a CPR class as a refresher to help learn in case, there's ever an emergency or anything like that. But even that alone, techniques have been updated that every layperson would be able to administer. So the list goes on, and
Sure.
For any information, if anybody's interested, you can learn more by going to goredforwomen.org. And
I'll make sure I post that underneath the end here. So.
Yeah, that will be very resourceful in terms of how anybody else might want to participate and help.
Perfect. And then from an advocacy perspective, men can join in on this too, correctly?
Absolutely. There are men that serve on the executive leadership team. There are men that attend the Go Red for Women
I don't know what I would look like in all red.
You don't have to wear all red.
Except for if I'm
honestly,
blushing, I might just look like a, but I have no idea. Anyhow,
even wearing a red pin, that's the Go Red for Women campaign pin. Is enough. It's really not about that. It's really about just showing support for the cause.
I want to fit in.
You would rock red very well.
Look like Clifford, but anyhow. And I know before we hit record, we were mentioning that you were mentioning how fitting it was because we're recording this on International Women's Day.
On International Women's Day and Women's History Month, so it's very fitting to be able to talk about this now and do what we can, both as a woman and as a community, to help women reach optimal health and advance.
Excellent. Well, I really appreciate your time, Julia. Keep up the great advocacy work that you do throughout the community. It's admirable, and I love following it online and your career in general. So good job. And
we'll
be talking soon. Thank you.
Look forward to it. Thanks again.
All right. Take care.
You too.